Hello. Welcome to episode 28 of the podcast. That was a Scarlet Nexus main menu theme, which I actually really like the main menu theme. So, if you're interested or curious about the music, that's what it is. It's still currently playing in the background. I'll leave it up for another minute or two while it ends the YouTube clip that I'm. Boone, how are you doing today?
Yep, good. Another week. Here we are, you know.
Oh, definitely.
I think it's good.
Great. That's good. We've got a couple things today involving some upcoming game announcements, some upcoming updates for games, which we'll touch on, maybe not too long, but we'll touch on it briefly. We also have something that I showed you, Spoon, yesterday, Dreamworld. I think we have to talk about
Yep.
Dreamworld a bit, for at various different angles. There's the game angle, and then there's the everything else behind the company angle. Now, if you want to focus on the game angle, I'm 100% fine with you doing that. But for me, at least, I want to focus on the company angle, if that's okay. That way, we can sort of divide and conquer the abuse that Dreamworld is about to take from us, in particular. So before we do that, though, there's a couple things that we should touch on. Would you mind going ahead and talking a bit about the anime watch this week?
Sure. Yep. So we're continuing on with The World Ends With You. We are through 8 or 9 at this point. I don't remember.
Yeah, neither
So
do
yeah,
I. We
there's
watched
there's
it
like
together.
there's like 3 or 4 episodes left, I think. So
Okay.
yeah, not too much, but I believe our college group D&D session is going to be this weekend on Sunday, but that shouldn't preclude us from watching World Ends With You on Sunday still. I think we'll do it, you know, let's say 4:30 or so again will be reasonable. So, yeah, let's say 4:30 Pacific on Sunday and we'll watch this week's episode. Um yeah,
Good. Cool. Um, okay. Couple things from the general podcast community end, I guess is the best way to put it. The movie night we're coordinating is I'm looking at Friday night, Saturday night for the most part. Sunday night might be a tough sell because of all the other stuff we're doing, and I figured we'll be kind of burned out by then. Everything else we're doing with D&D watch and things. So we'll figure it out and we'll communicate that into the server. I'm hoping to really solidify that by tomorrow so that people have time to figure out their schedules if they want to join. You're more than welcome to. We're watching Avengers Infinity War. It'll be fun. If you're busy, that's okay. But that's what we're doing this weekend for movie night. We haven't had one in quite some time just because like I haven't been able to coordinate it effectively. But this weekend in particular I'm able to because I haven't had to deal with as much for like D&D preparation. So if you're interested, feel free to join. That'll be happening Friday night or Saturday night. We're still figuring it out. Two more things on the docket. One of which I'll actually save for a little bit later because I want to do that announcement later this particular episode. But the YouTube channel has been getting a lot of videos from Mass Effect side in particular, but just generally speaking, there are going to be quite a few videos going on there. Not just for Mass Effect, but we still have to take last week's D&D and put it onto the YouTube. So I'll go ahead and shift over there, and we'll see if it actually picked it up correctly. Oh, it didn't. That's okay. Why would it ever do it correctly? Okay, so this is the YouTube channel. Let me close that real quick. The all the uploads that you could get from the YouTube are here, and there should be a command in the Twitch chat for that. If you're watching on Twitch, it should be !YouTube, as it's in the title description. It should be correct and working. The videos are predominantly of recent Mass Effect related because all the Mass Effect streaming I've done on my personal channel, I've put onto the podcast channel, and each of those videos are pretty short, except obviously excluding this hour-long video there, and there's like probably one other one that's pretty long, but everything is relatively short. So if you're interested in just watching something while, relaxing, or you're playing a game and you just want something in the background, feel free to check these out. They are all my gameplay. I've excluded some like fluff content in there that is like if I'm traveling from one system to another. I've just cut that out completely. For now, I've also cut out character dialogue sequences on the ship because I'm saving that. So feel free to check those out. I'd really appreciate it. I know some of the videos have been getting some views, which is great. Obviously, more is better, but I've just, because I've already been streaming them, I kind of wanted to practice my video editing in particular for me, and it was a good opportunity to do so. So you'll feel free to check them out. As is, includes all of our podcast episodes as well. So our episode 26 and 27 are both up here as well in the uploads. If you want to try and find them in this playlist for podcast episodes, you may have a little bit of a tougher time with that, just because it only shows the most recent 10 videos, I believe, or excuse me, 12. So be sure to take a look. The YouTube, again, thank you, Spoon, for putting the command there, and hopefully we'll get some more people checking those out and liking them and subscribing to the channel if you're new, things like that. That's always appreciated. Just because I like doing the editing work, but it is nice to get some additional feedback from that. So just want to touch on that.
And I
And
will try to remember to upload the Berseria stream that I did on Monday, but I have not remembered to do that as of
you're
yet.
the thing. It's yeah. Well, when we get to it, it'll get posted, and you'll be able to see it on here. There's a lot of videos this week. Every day there's a video this week. I kind of want to. I almost forgot, and I don't know how, but your comment reminded me of this also. At 2:30 every day, there's a video. 2:30 Pacific time, 5:30 Eastern. There's a video. It's at the same time now every day. This is on purpose. It's so that if you're interested in helping support us, you know exactly when the video is going up. I can tell you right now, there's like 2 videos tomorrow, one on Friday, and 2 on Saturday. The the rest of the videos that are going up, I believe, are all Mass Effect 2 actually. So if you've never played Mass Effect 2 and you're curious about the game at all, and you haven't seen me stream, which is 100% reasonable, you should take a look at those. They're very short. They're usually like, again, 20 to 40 minutes, and it's those ones I haven't cut out any character dialogue. So it's the entire experience if you're interested. So, like I said, feel free to do it. We would obviously appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's all I have personally for the YouTube. Spoon, if you have any additional things for YouTube or anything else, feel free.
Yeah, I was thinking about like movie night versus Berseria because I was planning on doing another Berseria stream this weekend.
Do
So
you know which day?
I mean, generally I've been doing Fridays, but I was gonna say let's do movie night on Friday, so maybe I'll just do Saturday instead for
Okay,
Berseria or
just
whatever.
yeah. Let me know. Let me know on that. I'm pretty
I
flexible.
mean, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't really
It doesn't
matter
matter.
to me to be honest.
Yeah.
So
Same here. It would be nice to know for like a 1 day's notice, right? Um, but anyway, thank you. Okay, is there any other stuff before we move to game news?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Let's let's eviscerate this Dreamworld game.
Oh,
Um,
we're gonna jump right into it with Dreamworld
yeah,
now. Okay.
I'm feeling like we should destroy it, and there's a lot to this. I didn't actually put all the links that I want to up here, but I will find the other link in one moment. So, okay, let me find the link while I'm giving the intro to this. So, Y Combinator. Let's pull up the Y Combinator link. They have a website. Let's pull them up because it's relevant. And then Y Combinator. That's relevant. Okay. So Dreamworld is supposed to be an infinite open world creative MMO, which, by the way, I'm just gonna say it. Good luck with that. That's like an unreal undertaking. Um, and This is their Kickstarter. So their Kickstarter had 663 backers as of the last update, which was June 2nd. And I believe this Kickstarter is over, actually. I think the Kickstarter is over, so you can't pledge to it anymore. The Kickstarter, I think, was like a month and a half ago, to my knowledge. So, and
Yep.
this thing raised almost $65,000. Okay, so it's not like a
And
small project.
they wanted 10K, so they went far over their goal.
They 6x'd it.
Yeah.
A little bit more than that. Again, like they had a trailer. I don't know if I want to play the trailer because I think they're usually like 5 to 6 minutes or so. But I can sum up the trailer. The trailer. This is a weird trailer for me. I think you watched it, or if you didn't, it's okay.
Well, not the whole thing.
Yeah, not the whole thing.
I watched the Young Yeah video,
Sure,
which showed part of it.
it showed part of
So
it. There's a couple parts of it that were shown that I watched too that I'm just like I was really scratching my head. Number one of the founders specifically commented and like made it a sob story with his like his engagement being broken off and things like that, and like the fiance the fiance of this founder actually made a video about this too. She made a video like basically like trying to say, hey, I didn't do anything here, probably just like stop harassing me. But yeah, this guy turned it into a sob story. And this guy, I don't remember his name, and frankly I don't care, but there are two founders here. There's the guy who we saw for the most part in the video. Again, don't care for his name. And the developer. The other developer, that's the other founder, has quite a pedigree with Google and Facebook in particular, being companies that person's been with, which historically pay people extremely well. In particular, Google does. And the reason why I say this is like I'm really confused as why this guy like left an amazing job for this, because neither of them have actual industry experience relevant to making an MMO game.
video games at all, really.
Right. The, programming, there's a difference between being a software engineer at something like Google, working on one of Google's many projects that they're working on, and actually developing a game. It is different. It's different. You're dealing with different things. In particular, you're dealing with a 3D environment, so you have to deal with all different things that you may not engage with at someplace like Google ever. Um, all of this is relevant to this particular segment of our news because they say they have game experience, which they don't. The one guy's made Flash games, which that's not actually industry experience. And
don't forget he like played around with Unity a little bit too.
okay, I mean I can do that if I
Yeah,
want
I
to.
know.
We can both do that actually,
Yeah.
and then we can say we have X number of years of experience. But the whole point, without circling too much down the rabbit hole here, is this company has raised more than $180,000. There are a lot of people that don't know what Y Combinator is. Allow me to enlighten you. Y Combinator is probably, I think I'm confident in saying it's the most famous accelerator in the world. There are many companies that have gone through Y Combinator, including Twitch, which we are live streaming on right now, that have gone through YC. Airbnb has gone through Y Combinator. Coinbase has gone through Y Combinator. DoorDash has gone through Y Combinator. And so like getting into Y Combinator is it's really challenging. They vet people, they do what's called due diligence, which is basically they do the research and they follow up on your company to make sure that everything is legitimate. And getting into Y Combinator is not like a joke at all. If you get in, that's a really prestigious thing that you would put on your company's website immediately. Right? So this is like not like a small thing, and I think people don't really understand how much Y Combinator invests in a company because some folks are like they probably put 250. They don't do that. They put about $120,000 into your company, or I don't remember what the stake is that they take. They take a certain percentage though, which is it's fair. They're giving you a lot of money early on to get your company going and started. So this Dreamworld has raised over $180,000. They have 3 full-time employees working on, in as they say, an infinite open world creative MMO. And I don't know anything about the game development process firsthand, but I doubt 3 people can make this kind of game. So
I mean, they promise things like millions of players on a single server, like no servers, like one server, millions of players, one gigantic open world for everyone, fully persistent. Last game you'll ever play as their tagline.
yeah,
And these are and infinite MMO, as you said, and these are things that not even triple A developers with hundreds of millions of dollars and hundreds of employees and programmers and people with
right.
actual experience in game development have
Like
figured out yet.
right. So that's that side of it. So let's focus on the game side of it. I'm gonna pull up a video of Dreamworld right now, and you can decide for yourself if Dreamworld is a. And let's go ahead and do this because I think
This
it's gonna be a
game,
little.
from everything I've seen, I know you're gonna pull up the trailer, but this game looks like doo doo to me.
It
Looks
it
terrible.
looks one of the worst things I've ever seen in alpha. Allow me to share with you via this YouTuber Josh Strife Hayes, who did some like great work in putting together a video like this just to show us what this game looks like. The alpha of this game is currently live, and this is what it is. I'm just gonna play. It's a 21-minute video. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. I'm just gonna play bits and pieces of it. First thing that I noticed immediately: look at the resources on the right. Boone, look at that.
He's got, what is that number?
Negative 2 trillion?
What?
Because or is it billion?
It's 2 billion, yeah.
It's 2 billion.
Two
Yeah, it's two
billion
billion. I'm
one
sorry,
hundred
2 billion. You're
forty-seven
right.
million 483,648.
This so apparently as an update from what I've heard, you can do like essentially console commands and completely screw over the game. Remember, you said Spoon that millions of people are on the same server at the same time, right? Could be.
Well,
Imagine one person walking into the server and fucking the experience for everybody because console commands exist. And they're like they can tell the server what the game actually should be at that moment. That's what I've heard, which is really disturbing. It's not like in like being in a personal Minecraft realm where you have like 8 people
nope.
in the realm. It's like who cares if one person, the host can do all the commands. Everybody
Oh,
else is just like at the mercy of the host. In this case,
sick,
yeah,
sick tutorial, dude. Just a white block in the middle of the city that tells you how to move your character and
yeah. This
like basic controls.
I'm wondering if this is actually in game. Like I think it is. I 100% is. But like I'm wondering if this is the actual frame rate.
Uh, this frame rate is something. It's really bad,
This is really bad.
and
Okay,
the
okay. I have to move forward a little bit because there's other stuff. Okay. So here's this again. This frame rate is horrible. No, you play as like a weird robot character. Oh, thank you for the ad. Yep. Let's get this terrible Hero Wars ad. Yeah, become a legend. Thank you. Okay. This is like this is the game. This
there,
is the alpha version of the game.
like, is there anything to do in the game other than walk around? Like,
I mean, who cares? You have all these
I mean,
resources that you can
I guess.
trick the game into getting. Like, what's the point anymore then? There's like no end game to this seemingly. It's just like you run around this completely broken abyss that I would just
Man,
call hell.
look at the pop in too. The pop in's great.
This yeah, the rendering of objects is really bad.
Yeah, rendering.
Oh god. What? Oh god.
This is supposed to be the snow area with the candy canes.
Yep. Uh at this at some point this guy's going to. Okay, so let's go to a different person. This is still the frame rate. It's still really. Yeah, at some point we just they discovered like you could trick the game and like give yourself infinite. This looks terrible. This is, oh my god. This reminds me of Assassin's Creed Unity. The rendering of objects like almost right in front of you. That's like,
That is an offense to Assassin's Creed Unity. This is nowhere as good as
oh,
that.
I just meant the rendering. No, this is
Yeah.
far, 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 infinitely worse than Unity will ever be. Okay, so that was the gameplay of Dreamworld. You decide for yourself if you thought it was great. Spoon, can you talk about this as a game?
I mean, what else is there to say? You've seen it. This isn't a game. There was no gameplay. They just walked around this barren, empty world with rendering objects. There was hardly any collision anywhere except the ground. Um, there were apparently some resources that I don't know what you do with them, but sure, there's some resources that maybe you can use to build stuff, I guess. I think in the Kickstarter trailer it showed people being able to build stuff in it. Um,
I
I
can
mean, yeah,
play that trailer.
there's no game. There were no NPCs for like any quests. There was nothing to fight. There was no like combat or weapons to be seen. Um, the graphics are terrible. The frame rate was abysmal, and I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. This hardly looks like a game to me. Like it, yeah. There was hardly anything there to be played, and if you were one of the unfortunate ones to have bought into this project, I apologize because this to me looks like a giant scam.
Like, oh god, even the trailer had frame rate issues, so they should have cut this out. Okay, this is the one founder whose fiance left him, who broke off the engagement. He even talked about it in the video, which I I genuinely don't understand why you would mention that in the video unless you wanted people to just feel bad for you and pity you and give you pity money.
I mean, yeah,
Which
that's it.
I guess that's the objective here. But like for me, just thinking about, I'm like, why would you ever do that? Like, I guess they just want people to feel him. So where's the developer guy? There he is. After like 4 minutes in the video, I don't know why he's shaking his head like this. Like he's like, yeah, look what we've done. What you've done, Spoon. We mentioned this yesterday. We talked about it. Now you're convinced this is a scam.
I think it's a scam. I
Okay.
entirely think it's a scam. I think these guys are. I mean, they've got some. Okay, they did a little bit of something. They released this pre-alpha garbage and they put together this trailer. But I'm convinced that this is a complete scam and they're just pocketing the money and like pretending to work on something. Basically,
Mm,
that's what I think it is
okay.
because I don't see this ever being a finished product that anyone could play ever.
Sure.
It's just a mess.
Right. So my thing is, initially I said no, this isn't a scam. I thought this was just like, this was just people who were far over their head. Is what this is. I don't think it
I
was
mean,
a scam.
maybe a little bit of
I mean,
both,
yeah, it
but
is for sure. It's both. I think it's both now. I think I have I think a small amount of it is a scam. Somehow these guys, which by the way is shocking to me because again I mentioned Y Combinator, like this company like vets people, and you can even see twice a year we invest a small amount of money, 125K, which is a small amount of money in the context of the startup community when raising money. That is a small amount of money compared to like companies getting millions of dollars in certain funding rounds. That is small. Um, but they got into Y Combinator, and my understanding, based on what we saw and heard on all the various research that we did, I did a little bit more than just watch like a couple videos. I took a look at a couple things, and one of the founders has a relationship with somebody in Y Combinator who's pretty high up on a senior level, and they got past the due diligence vetting process, which is how they got into Y Combinator. And I'm just going to say this now, that isn't necessarily the norm, but that does happen a lot. In that, in the sense that you get a pre-existing relationship with somebody inside of like in this case Y Combinator, and you get certain leeway liberties that other people wouldn't when there is no relationship. That's what I'm talking about. Not in the sense like, oh yeah, everybody just gets a relationship with Y Combinator and then they just go through. It's the idea that if you know the right people, you can jump through a couple barriers that most people get blocked. So even if that's the case, I'm genuinely surprised that Y Combinator got duped by this. And they are part of Y Combinator as the Winter 21, so recent batch. They do a winter and a summer batch. They were in the winter batch and they got in. And I'm completely shocked. I'm completely shocked that these guys got it. I'm really really shocked. Um there's a couple other things that were in there worth noting. Um Many of their moderators for their game and their Discord community are teenagers from 14 to 16 aged. And while I don't think that's the most egregious thing in the world, that's still kind of telling that they were spamming Fortnite and Minecraft communities to try and get moderators. A little bit odd that they just went right to 14 to 16-year-olds. Um my suspicion is they don't want to pay anybody, so they went straight for kids.
Yep.
That part of it is definitely suspicious, but I mean, like, I'm just like, you didn't have to. You could have hired like an 18-year-old right out of school, paid him minimum wage or something to be your moderator. That that
I
was a
mean,
you could have done that.
there there was a lot of sketch going on with this. Again, they're like Young Yeah did about a 30-minute video on this that I watched yesterday when Otto showed this to me. And I mean, there's just a lot of sketch going on. They have the teen moderators, apparently the two main guys, the devs, they kind of just go AWOL for extended periods of time. Apparently, people just get banned anytime they bring up any sort of like criticism
Right.
or question or any sort of anything that can be regarded as negative about the game, even if it comes from a like a positive place, like hey, they want the game to be better, so here's some feedback or whatever.
They'll just get banned.
They just get instantly banned. Um, and then there was the story with the fiance from that guy. Um,
So weird.
part of the story was that apparently, when he proposed to her, he bought her this big diamond ring, which was fake, and
Yes.
then he lied to her about it being fake. Well, he told her it was real, and then when she confronted him about it, he continued to lie about it being
Oh.
real. Like this
Okay.
guy is like a
Yeah. Okay.
serial liar. Like this guy is a scam artist in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like
Okay.
he is just a liar and a scam artist. And that's the thing that
Okay.
like where I'm going like I think this is a scam because this guy is just has proven at least through that story that we heard that he's just a liar and like he doesn't care. So
Okay.
that's why I went down the scam route because I'm
Sure.
like, yeah, this guy's just a liar and a scam
That
artist. So
then that could be the case, 100%. If that is the case, which I think I'm just gonna say you're right about it because I didn't necessarily see all that part of it. Then yeah, he's definitely doing this to try and get a quick paycheck for like 2 years, and it's it's too bad too because all the people that backed this they got duped, and I feel bad for them. Um, I will say like Kickstarter projects are inherently just dangerous. Like you're really taking more of a risk than you really should be, frankly, with Kickstarter
yeah.
projects. But you just got really duped, and like 663 backers for $64,000. Each backer then would have had to average like $100 almost.
Like around $100 average per
Yeah. So
backer.
everybody pledged around this number. This pledged $99 or more. Around there. Not
Was that the minimum
the
one, or
minimum
was
was
there something else?
$1. Then there was a $29 to get access to the alpha. $99 for whatever, who cares? If you get $129, you get the upgrade to large plot of land in the city. The scam badge was in here, I believe. And $300. I mean, if you're giving that much for this, you're probably an idiot. 2,000. you're clearly have too much money. Yeah, like if you saw this trailer and gave this thing like more than $1, I don't know what to tell. This trailer would not have elicited any. So yeah, like again. Oh, and by the way, Y Combinator, just as an added note to show like how like unprepared the game this company is. Y Combinator does a demo day as a part of when you're with a cohort. Do a demo day. It's like 10-minute pitch to show off what you've been doing and what you've done. I, Nearly everybody has something to show. Dreamworld had nothing to show, which is extremely uncommon. The other thing that I want to mention is this company will probably get more money. By the way, Y Combinator generally gets companies more money after they finish the cohort. I have a really hard time imagining they won't get more. This company might actually get more, which is too
Here's
bad
what I'll
because
say. I hope I am proven wrong and that this is not a scam and that these people are really going to try to deliver on this. But I don't have very much confidence in that.
I don't either. I think they're way over in. I think they're in way over their head. I think they will get more money to make this, and I think inevitably they're not going to be able. They're going to have to. This is what's going to happen. I think if they do get more money because Y Combinator will work really hard to get them money. To be honest, and this is a successful Kickstarter, so it's something for them to talk about. The first thing I would do is I would just like basically the guy that's like the current CEO, I would just almost kick him out. I basically just almost kick him out and put somebody that actually knows what they're doing in charge. I'd probably just go immediately find like some senior person at like a big studio and try and like pay them all the money in the world to get them to try and fix this thing because this thing needs a lot of work. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
It,
Also,
it,
apparently, when the alpha came out, a bunch of people, dove into the code. People who had access to it, the MMO community dove into the code, and apparently the code was an absolute mess, and they used a bunch of like free assets and like copy pasted a lot of code, and yeah, apparently it was just a nightmare. And apparently, actually, again, going back to the Young Yeah video, I mean, he was saying apparently there was like possible like security threats
mm,
in this where it wasn't like authenticating or checking anything you were doing, and yeah, like it's possible that like through this somebody could actually like get access to your system and mess with your shit.
yep.
So yeah,
Just stay away
this
from
thing
this.
this thing is a disaster. Like don't even if you backed it, don't even go into the alpha.
Don't
That's a
go into it.
mistake. Like
They're gonna get really screwed over. And again, like I wouldn't be surprised if I like come back if we came back to this 6 months from now and it says this Dream World got like a couple $1 million in funding. Like I actually wouldn't be surprised because this Y Combinator does this. They can just get you money. They're very good at it.
yeah,
Why
maybe.
people that's why people do it. No, it's not even a maybe.
I
I've
mean,
seen several projects that I was just like that maybe probably shouldn't. It did just because that's how
and
it's how it is.
I mean, again, going down the scam route, I'm honestly maybe a couple years down the line expecting to hear like lawsuits against these guys because this was a scam. Like
It's really bad. And I do feel bad for on some level for the people that gave to this, but you saw this video and if you thought this had potential, I gotta tell you, you you just need to be smarter about it. Just need to be smarter, but you got to do your own research on these kinds of games and especially companies like this. You almost have to actually go into the history of the people that are making the game too. And you can't just go, "Oh, I'm just going to give this $30 cuz I saw this trailer." Do your research. It's really important. Um but yeah, this yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I think I agree with you now for this is a scam and I'm completely shocked that they got into Y Combinator because Y Combinator is better
yeah. I mean,
and it's
from
really
what I
good.
read, it was again you said it, but one of them had a connection in there, and and due to the connection, it must have been pretty high up or someone with a lot of pull because apparently they skipped most of, if not all of the due diligence and just got like auto accepted
which is
because of it.
it's still ridiculous too that
I
that
mean,
even
yeah, it's stupid, but it happens, I
it
guess.
it's really it does no it does that stuff does happen. It really does. And that's like it's kind of like part of the truth of the whole thing is that it does happen more than like. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm still shocked. Like, I'm so okay. Any other final thoughts regarding Scam World? Otherwise, we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, one more thing
Oh
just
yeah, go
about
ahead, please.
Kickstarter in general. Like, I really do like the idea of Kickstarter that, people can like back a project and get access and get like perks and stuff like that. But you do have to be really careful with Kickstarters because I'm sure there are plenty of projects similar to this one, not only in the video game space, but in other spaces where people are just looking to basically take advantage of people and make a quick buck and they don't have any. You have to read very carefully, do your
Yeah.
research, do your due diligence. Apparently, with this also, if you look through the the backer rewards, like there is no promise of an actual like full game. The only promise was for the alpha. So
Oh yeah. I guess there is no like full game. Oh.
yeah, there was nothing in the rewards that talked about like, hey, you get access to the game when it comes out or something, or you get whatever. It was like all they talked about was this alpha, which was a nightmare from what we saw. So again, that takes me more down the like this was just a scam basically, and they're you know. So yeah, just Kickstarter. The idea is really cool, but you do have to be careful with it. Do your research, do your due diligence. Just don't throw money at anything. Um, yeah, because you can get scammed on Kickstarter, and again, that's what I think this particular project is.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with you. It's good. I honestly, I'm really surprised we got any sort of traction with shocking to me. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on from
Yep.
Scam World, and we'll talk about something that isn't a scam. Gundam. Uh, Gundam Seed. This is or next year. I don't know if you confirmed because I didn't. Um, is the 20-year anniversary of Gundam Seed, and they're doing a couple projects with Gundam Seed. Number one, there's a movie that they're going to be making. Uh, I don't know if there was a date that it was going to be released. Spoon, do you know if there's going to be a release date for this movie
I mean, I
soon?
assume I assume they want it to be next year, and yeah,
Okay,
it's next year. Next year is the 20th
then
anniversary
that
of
makes
Gundam
sense.
Seed
Then that makes
2022.
sense. Okay,
Gundam
so
Seed released in 2002 originally, or it started its run in 2002.
okay, then that makes sense. Okay, so there will be a movie that is so they say Project One theatrical work that will be a sequel to the TV series. Um, A statue? Okay. There's going to be a statue being built somewhere. Where is
That
this?
that already
Oh, that
exists.
already
It's
exists.
it's it,
They
it
actually just
no
finished.
yeah
Okay, great.
yeah they finished that of the Freedom
I
Gundam
see. Which
in
opened April 28th. If I had read,
it's in Shanghai, I
yes, it
think.
is. It says Shanghai, China. So that's a thing. Wow, that's the official picture. It looks. Um,
Yeah, and it's to scale. It's supposed to be the actual size of the suit.
um, the first Gundam super large event, Gundam Docks at Shanghai in China, will be held at a shopping park. Looks like that's another project that's going to be happening. And then there's also going to be a new game for Mobile Suit Gundam Seed for the series,
Yep.
specific to the series, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, a specific Gundam Seed game as opposed to another series or like they do crossovers a lot where they just mash them all up and whatever.
Right. And then I don't know what this Gundam Seed Eclipse is. Is this the
This is a
movie?
this is a
This is
manga,
a manga. Okay. So this is the manga. This is
or
another.
maybe it's a light novel. I don't know, but it's a comic of some
Okay.
sort.
Okay, that was I mean, and more. Who knows if there's how many more projects there could be. But Spoon, I'll let you talk about this one because you're a Gundam super fan, and I'm just I just casually enjoy Gundam. I would say.
Yep. I mean, this is. I mean, this is really exciting to me. Gundam. I mean, we've talked about Gundam Seed on the podcast before. Well, actually, it was the Myriad cast when we did, but Gundam Seed is my favorite Gundam series, for better or for worse. I know there are a lot of Gundam Seed haters out there. Well, most people in the Gundam fandom, it's either a love it or you hate it with Gundam Seed. Some people absolutely love it, like myself, and other people absolutely despise it. Um, but I love Gundam Seed, and despite it has flaws. I don't think it's perfect, but and I'm really excited for this. I mean, there was after Gundam Seed Destiny, which is the sequel series, which was generally not that well liked. It has a lot of issues. Gundam Seed Destiny. There were like there was a point after Gundam Seed Destiny came out where they were. I'm pretty sure there was at least some concept art or a few like screenshots or
Mm-hmm.
something of like they were supposedly at some point after Gundam Seed Destiny working on I don't remember if it was a movie or another like sequel series, a third Gundam Seed series that would happen after Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
But that project never happened for whatever reason. I don't know if it was like yeah. I don't know the reason why that fell apart, but whatever that project was, it fell apart
Okay.
eventually for the next sequel to the Gundam Seed franchise. And so yeah, it's back now. They're doing a movie. Anime movies for me are like really hit and miss. To be honest, like they just go a little too fast a lot of the time for me. Like they just try to do too much in like
Well,
the hour and a half that
they,
they have or
mm,
whatever.
they
So
kind of have to in most cases,
yeah, they do. So we'll
particularly
see
if it's a
how
movie that's based on this.
Yeah, so we'll see how they handle it. I would much rather instead of a movie they did like they I don't necessarily want them to do another like 50 episode series, but if they did like a 10 or 15 episode like short thing would be kind of cool. But it's a movie and that's fine. I'm excited for it nonetheless. I believe they said, the original director and like mobile suit like artist and designer is back, so it should still have like I would assume they would still go with the feel of, what the
Right.
original series was.
Right.
Um and hopefully they don't repeat some of the mistakes they had with Destiny cuz
Destiny had character issues. That was the main. Destiny had
yeah,
character. The the 180 of characters, while it isn't bad necessarily, it was
I think
off-putting.
I think it was bad.
Well, in the sense that a character changing over the course of a few years is not a bad thing, but they didn't do it in the right way. It's not a bad thing to have a character like have a potentially a different personality like X number of years later. In this case, I think three. It was three, right?
Dude,
Two,
uh
two or three.
no, it is.
Oh, it was three.
Yeah, I think it's CE 71 or 72, and then 74 is so it's between 2 and
Two.
3, I
Okay,
think. Whatever.
somewhere 2 to 3 years, having characters like kind of change their personality. I don't actually think that's a bad thing, but it wasn't executed particularly well in Destiny.
Well, yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this. A new game. We'll see how the games turn out. Like Gundam games are generally really hit and miss as well. Some of them have been pretty darn good, and others have been utter garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're just like cash-ins on the Gundam franchise, name and popularity.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I love Gundam Seed. We haven't had. I think with like I'm kind of waiting for them. Gundam has been a little bit stagnant lately. Like they've been doing like movies and a lot of like other kind of like OVAs and these offshoot things, but there hasn't been a new Gundam's like full series, anime series since Iron Blooded Orphans, and that thing ended like 4 years ago in 2017, I think.
Well, okay. Like, okay, I see what you're saying. I was about to say, like, what about some of the like side series?
Other than
Yeah,
build
Build's
is
been
but build
going.
is its own thing.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
and there are port. I mean, I enjoy build for what it is, but it's not exactly what I'm
It's
looking
not the
for when I
main
go.
like a main
Yeah, it's
series.
not the main gun. I mean, it's fun in its own right, but it's not a mainline Gundam series. It's different. It's its own thing.
Like a
And yes, I do
spin-off.
enjoy it, but it's not what I'm necessarily looking for when I go to watch a Gundam series. It's something entirely different. Um,
Sure.
so yeah, there has not been a new mainline Gundam series since Iron Blooded Orphans, which again ended in like 2017. So, and I mean, this isn't it either because this is just a movie.
It's just a
But
movie.
um, so I'm kind of waiting for them to see
Announce
what the next
something.
actual series is. But either way, I'm excited for this. As I said, I love Gundam Seed, and more Gundam Seed is good for me. So
Sure.
um, yeah,
No, I mean, Gundam Seed was a fun show. Um, Gundam Seed has problems, very much so. Like Gundam Seed Destiny has problems, but they're entertaining, is what I'll say. Which, if the show had problems that wasn't entertaining, like obviously just out the window. But much like the Build series, like most of them are at least entertaining. They have their own problems, but they're entertaining. Gundam Seed is kind of the same way for me. It's got problems, but it's like fun. It's a fun show to watch when it gets going, and
mhm,
it's got like really cool moments. And
yeah,
Destiny do has that too. Like there's a couple moments where it's fun and there's some cool moments, but Destiny seems to have more moments where you're just like, okay, this is a little bit either dragging or okay, that seems kind of silly, overly silly. Why is this character doing this? You know, I mean, we joke that Gundam Seed in the end it's three factions. It's Earth, coordinators,
Zaft,
and
Zaft, yeah,
yeah, well, yeah, Zaft and Kira, the Kira
Kira
faction.
faction,
So like,
Kira
there's three
faction,
factions, and Kira faction always wins in
because
Seed and
Kira
Seed
because
Destiny
Kira's on Kira
because Kira's
faction.
Jesus, because
Well,
he's
well,
Jesus.
actually, all the best pilots are on Kira faction, pretty much.
All the
Like
best
all the
pilots,
main
yeah,
characters are on,
right.
except for the actual main villains.
The main
All of
villain
them
of
are on
Seed
Kira
was
faction.
what was like probably one of the better pilots, and that was about it. But yeah, like Kira's Jesus, and his followers are the best pilots typically, except for in Seed, which was La Crusade. He was probably a better pilot than say for Kira. So it's a fun show. So I'm kind of excited about. I'm kind of curious about the game. I'm wondering if they're gonna bring the game to um to the U.S. or
The
to
West,
the
yeah,
West in general. I am curious about it. I do want to say I think I doubt it, but
yeah, probably not. I wouldn't count on it.
it'd be. I mean, if they did, it'd be kind of cool to take a look. So and I'd be curious to see what kind of game it is. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's all I have to say. I mean, like I'm not really big into the movies either for anime movies. Um, but it's cool that they're celebrating the 20-year anniversary of something like this. It is cool. I think I appreciate that.
yeah. I mean, this was when Gundam Seed came out. It was a really popular series, at
Hmm.
least in Japan. Again, I know in the West maybe it was a little more divisive. Not everybody liked it so much, but this series was really popular, and some of the characters on the whatever they're like anime like polls and lists, like Lacus was like one of the favorite
Oh yeah, Lacus
female
I'm
and
sure was.
anime characters for like a couple years running after this series came
Yeah,
out.
oh for
So
sure. I could see that
she
for
was
sure.
she was near the top.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so this series was generally like pretty darn well liked, at least in Japan when it came out initially. So um, I think it makes sense for them to capitalize on the popularity and do a 20-year anniversary
Right.
for it.
No, I agree. I agree. This is a fun show. It is. Um okay. I almost forgot to put this on here, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know the full context of the dream stuff with Minecraft. So you may have to help me, or we're just gonna try and give like a very
Yeah, we're gonna
macro
wing we're gonna
overview.
wing it because I don't really know the details
We're
either.
gonna wing it. There was a Minecraft speedrun regarding a very specific version, which is version 1.16. And a incredibly popular, I'm going to say YouTuber, but I think also Twitch streamer. I'm going to say both, and Minecraft personality did a speedrun. And during this particular speedrun, people discovered using detective work, which is extremely common in our communities, that he may have been cheating.
I mean, I
And
think he got like a 1 in like some billion or 1 in some trillion RNG or
right,
something like that, which people were like, okay, that's kind of sus.
it's definitely suspect when the probability is so unreal. Um, okay, so the the whole community was like, okay, the community in this particular speedrunning area, and probably a bit outside of that, I would imagine, called him on it and said, "Hey, you're cheating," and he denied it. And he denied it for quite some time, and he started blaming people, and he really made a big fuss about it. And it's been 6 months since that time. And okay, so we're getting more from Tricourage in our chat. Thank God. It was more than just one run. They ran a test on a massive sample of his runs over several weeks and found his luck was near impossible. Now this is a response that he provided, which actually it got taken down. But we have the archived version of it, thank God. And in here, I know a couple points in here I think I want to talk about. Number one, he hired an anonymous professor at a university to help him with the math. Okay. First things first. I don't know if the professor wanted to be anonymous or he was just wanting the professor to be anonymous. But if you want it to be a credible check from a university professor, you should probably cite that source.
Yep,
Probably cite it.
that stinks to high hell as he's just like trying to get like say that there's expertise here when there probably isn't.
Right. Which, again, like, I don't even necessarily know. Like, yeah, like, I don't even know if the professor would want necessarily to be. If it was a professor that could legitimately help and help with the I'm gonna say in this case it's probably more along the lines of like, okay, probability. So you'd probably want a statistician,
Mathematician.
yeah, a mathematician to focus on this, but he just said a professor. So people called the professor on it. The professor came back and forth saying no, they're wrong, and he had some checks on the math because he found some issues. The whole point is this guy went and got a professor from a university to help him, which I'm like, again, you should probably say the professor and what field they were in. If you're saying it's some kind of anonymous professor without giving enough background into the professor, and then saying no, it's credible because it's a professor at a university, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Say who it is, cite your source. I feel like that's like kind of a thing. It's a thing in education, right? You cite your sources. So cite your damn sources. Don't be stupid. But he continued to deny it, and then eventually, in this paste bin, he admitted to it. He said, "Oh yeah, no, I think I am cheating." He didn't say initially. He said, "I think I'm cheating," and then he admitted to it and apologized. That's what I got out of this. Is he was like at first he was like, I think I did cheat. No, I think I think I did. So I'm sorry. And I'm like, okay, but when you say I think you did in text form,
how do you know if you're not cheating? Like, how if you're cheating, you're cheating. You would know
right.
that you're cheating. I don't understand. Like,
yeah. So this is like, okay, you're trying to deflect some blame from yourself. You're basically, when you say I think I'm cheating, what you mean is no, I was oblivious to it and I cheated without my own knowledge. And it's just like no.
The opposite of that's you're not taking any responsibility at that
like,
point. You're like, well, I think I cheated, but I don't really know, so whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, and there's like other angles to that too. It's like, okay, well, could you say like, oops, I cheated? Maybe there's like some crazy scenario which you could come up with where you could say that. There's actually an example from my university when I was going to be applying. They made me go through this PowerPoint. One example was, oh, you left your laptop open that happened to have your homework on it, and then you walked away to get a book at the library. Somebody copied the work, and you came back without knowing all of that. That's cheating. So in that case, you could say, oops, I cheated. But even so, you still cheated. There's no I think I cheated. You did. And that actually, from our university, they said you cheated. They're like, yeah, you left your computer open. You have a duty to make sure that your work is protected.
You cheated by negligence.
Exactly.
Basically.
You cheated by negligence. So you still cheated, though. You can't say I think I cheated even then either. You did. It's unfortunate, like in that particular case, because it is your fault, but at the same time, it's like, come on, like, That's like the craziest situation. But obviously, it must have happened because they had the situation available. So this guy is like, no, I think I cheated. It's like, no, you probably you did. There's no probably. There's no I think you did, and it took you 6 months to come out and say it. You did, and the other thing is like all of his. I'm pretty sure his fans were like supporting him the whole time too. Which
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I do think that actually makes sense. Like,
I mean that happens, and anytime like
exactly
a big YouTuber, streamer, whatever, if there's a scandal with them, most of the times their fans are standing behind them and saying, I don't care, it doesn't matter, I'm a fan of this person, they're infallible, and
right.
it's stupid.
Which again, to be fair, fans do that. Fans are short for fanatic, and sometimes your logic can go out the window when you're a fan of something. I'm a fan of the Minnesota Timberwolves. By all logic, that is the stupidest choice you could make, but I do it. So I do sympathize a little bit with the fans. It's like kind of in some way they should be supportive of somebody who they followed for X number of months, years, so on.
Yeah.
But
And all
you gotta stick up for yourself and be like, okay, if this person's cheating and like trying to pass it off as not cheating, and then finally saying, I think I cheated, there's some shady stuff going on there. You should rethink who you support in that case.
yeah. And at least again, I don't exactly know because like this didn't affect me directly. I don't know a lot about this. I've seen this in passing a couple of times. But from most of what I understand, all the speedrunning community and the people who were truly upset about this wanted was him to come out and say, "Hey, I cheated. I'm sorry." That's all they wanted. They wanted him to admit it and apologize. That's
Right.
all they wanted him to do. And he couldn't do that. And like that happens a lot with not just this, but I feel like that happens with like game companies as well. Sometimes, when they release like a bad game, a bad product, or they have awful microtransactions, all we want is you say, sorry, we fucked up, we won't do it again, or
No,
like,
they can't.
but they won't do it.
They
They
can't.
can't take responsibility. It's
And
just
even when they
so.
can, they use the it's the Mad Libs. I'm sorry from game
Yeah, no.
AAA company.
Well, they do that because they don't want to, they don't have lawyers like jumping down their throats because
Exactly. They
they
have to.
admit
Yeah.
it. They can't admit to any like, false advertising or anything that they could be sued for, basically.
Right.
Like,
It's just I love the freaking the ad libs from company AAA companies where we really messed up blank.
yeah,
Yeah, I know nothing about this guy, this kid, whoever it is. I obviously I would never come across this content in my life. I there's a degree there is a small percentage of me that feels bad for him because I feel bad for anybody that has like entire I don't want to say mobs, but like entire groups of people like just constantly hounding you and hounding you and hounding you. I do feel a small percentage of sympathy there. That being said, there's a bigger percentage of me that's like you could have made your life so much easier if you had this knowledge that you did cheat. You didn't have to go talk to a professor. You didn't have to do that stuff. You didn't have to write this. By the way, I don't know what it is about people with these long paste bins. I hate these. I hate these.
oh
I
god,
really do hate these.
dude, the speed running community, they love
I
paste
hate these.
bins so much,
I hate
dude.
these.
Paste anytime anyone needs to make an announcement, it's a freaking paste
I hate
bin.
these paste bins. I really do. I gotta be honest with you. I don't like these. Can you just do it in a Google Doc or something? I prefer that. I really would. I really would. I hate these paste bins. I have to be honest with myself and with all of you. I'm sure they're great for certain folks to put on their Twitter to to do the whole like we're sorry thing, but I just freaking hate it. So anyway, I again I don't I don't know. I'm never gonna come across this person's content.
Yeah,
I have
same.
no interest in it. Again, some small piece of me feels bad, but at the same time, you should have there are things you should have done better. But I think I don't know how old this person is. He's probably like 20. I'm saying he because I'm guessing that. I really don't
I
know.
saw something on Twitter that was like implicating that they actually maybe weren't even an adult, though,
Okay,
or maybe
well
they were a very young adult,
then
like
that makes
18 or
sense.
20, right?
That makes
Like,
sense to me. I have to be honest. Kids are dumb. Kids are really dumb, including
yep.
teenagers. So that makes sense to me. That 100% makes sense to me that somebody would do this.
But yeah, I don't know if that's true or not at all. That might not be. Again, I saw a tweet that like
Right.
had that implication, but I really have no idea.
He is 21. Oh,
21.
yeah,
Okay,
okay.
still pretty young.
He's probably getting a little smarter. He's probably getting a little bit smarter, but you're just getting out of your stupidity stage, so there's a lot to learn. Um, but still, like again, you're 21, you're young, he probably hasn't. I don't know if he's ever had this much scrutiny before. If it's the
Yeah.
first time you've had this much scrutiny, sure, I can understand somebody like this who's never like really fucked up before reacting like this. Yeah, sure, I could. That's why I have a small amount of sympathy. But
I have a small amount, but again, when you are called out and they have evidence, there's a point where it's like, okay, it's time to give it up. Okay, I cheated. I'm sorry.
sure,
I apologize. I'm sorry that and all the I mean, I know like the mods and stuff. Maybe they seem like they had it out for them, whatever. But they're just trying to protect the integrity of their community and their speed runs. Like they don't want people up and down thinking that it's okay for them to cheat on their speed runs because it's not. Like you can't like. And since this guy is such a big content creator, I think they had to go after him and be like, no, this guy cheated and this is not okay, and we're not gonna allow this to happen on our watch.
yeah, there. The mods. That's when they're being rational. This is what the mods do. This is what they do. They're supposed to say, okay, if your run is not legitimate, we can't accept it. That's just it. It's a
And
very
maybe we're gonna
simple
ban
thing.
and maybe they're gonna ban them from the leaderboards because they cheated. But
Yeah,
that's up to the mods.
but that's up
Like
to them. I don't know what they actually did.
I don't either.
So anyway, again, I think I've said my piece on the kid. Hopefully he'll grow up a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Dragon Quest 12: The Flame of a Blank Stare is coming.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. It's just like it's
Yeah,
coming.
this.
It's
I
coming.
mean, there was like a Dragon Quest presentation. I didn't watch it, but the two biggest announcements that I saw, at least the ones that I was interested in, is they're doing a remake of Dragon Quest 3 in the Octopath ish style, the HD 2D 3D
Okay.
thing, whatever they call it. So people were excited for that, and then the announcement of Dragon Quest 12. Um, and all they had was this. There was no screenshots of it. Just like, hey, we have there's a game, there's a concept, there's a
Sure.
title, there's a logo. But that was about it.
Okay.
That game probably won't come out at least. I would say it next year would be a stretch. I would say it's 2 year. I would say it's 2 years at least on that one.
Okay.
Um,
The Dragon Quest 11 came out last year. I'm trying to
no,
remember.
it was like 2018 or 19. I want to say
I think
it's
I
been a
should
couple of years.
Dragon.
The original version. They keep like re-releasing it and like porting it to other platforms
Oh,
and
the
doing like
initial release was
the H
2017. Oh,
oh,
okay.
2017. Yeah, okay, even further back.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
Got
they
it.
keep doing, upgraded versions and porting it to like Switch and PC and
Sure.
all these other things. So
I
I
just
feel like
wasn't
they've
sure.
released a new version of it like every single year or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
initial game was a while ago.
Sure. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's got a fandom. This franchise is a fandom. I'm sure it's exciting.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's a JRPG. And Dragon Quest 11 was like really popular. A lot of people are like, "Oh man, this game was amazing. It was, JRPG of the generation basically." And
Okay.
I
Wow.
played it. I played it and I'm going to be honest, it was fine. But I think honestly, the two games, like my two hot takes on games this generation are this one
And
and Breath of the
yes, it
Wild.
is.
And I think these are the two most overrated games of the generation because I think they're fine, they're okay, but I don't like them that much. Like I beat them both. Like they weren't bad enough that I put them down
Okay.
and or struggled to beat them, but it just wasn't that like it was fine. It was a
Okay.
fun game, but it was not incredible in any way, shape, or form. It was like Dragon Quest 11 to me was like a real solid like 7 out of 10. Like
I
it was
see.
like okay, it was fun, but was there anything special about it? It had a couple of good moments in the story um, that were hard hitting, but most of it was pretty standard JRPG fare.
Yeah. Okay. I have a
Yeah, no,
question.
yes,
Is there a dragon in the quest?
there are dragons.
Okay,
Yes,
thank God. Whew. About to say if there was.
they have 11 games. Yeah, this is a very long running JRPG series. This series has existed since probably the 80s, actually, if not
Jeez.
the early 90s. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I know Dragon Quest Eleven's on Game Pass. I did notice that some time ago. I was scrolling through it at some
I mean, yeah,
couple
this is
weeks.
another super long running JRPG series like Final Fantasy, basically,
Hmm.
where yeah, and each one is like Final Fantasy or Tales of. Each game is a different world, different story. Um, all that.
Hmm. So
Megan be trolling me. This is the only Dragon Quest game that I've beaten.
okay.
11.
11.
So, I think I played maybe one other one. But they really slowed down after all because like Dragon Quest 8 was on the PS2. So,
Oh wow. Okay. That is that's a pretty hefty window. Pretty hefty window. Okay.
I really didn't get super into JRPGs until like at least the mid 2000s. And even at that point, I would have said I was super into them because I still played other stuff.
Hmm.
But like after college and stuff is when I really like buckled down. I was like, okay, JRPG is like that's my
You
jam,
said
and that's like the main thing I'm gonna play.
you said JRPGs only. Screw Otto and his Call of Duty plays, and I
I
cry.
mean,
I was
I
just
would probably
crying. I was just
still
crying.
play Call of Duty, but Call of Duty turned into a shit show.
It
So
really did. Holy moly! It really did.
like
It
I
really
liked
did.
Call of Duty back in the day, but the recent games just suck. Like they're just bad.
They're it's all about Warzone now. It's all about the battle royale, baby. That's where they're gonna put all their effort. Okay, moving on.
Yep.
Okay. Oh my goodness, it's been so long since we talked about Genshin Impact. I'm ready. I'm
It's been a
excited.
while.
I saw you
I
playing earlier.
I booted it up today for
Oh
the first
boy.
time in like 4
Oh
months.
boy.
It was
You,
like 11 a.m. and there was like wasn't anything on YouTube or Twitch I wanted to watch. I was like, I'll boot up Genshin. I guess I'll patch it. I'll boot it up. I'll do dailies or some nonsense,
and
whatever.
guess what? Nothing's changed. It's the same. It's the same thing. I'm just gonna
It's
say
the same.
it's the same. It's pretty much the same thing. There's obviously there have been changes since you left, but like realistically, your experience is probably going to be the same. Okay. Well, this is Gene. So
Hmm.
in Genshin Impact update 1.6, there is
Which is coming out in like a
a
couple
week,
weeks, I think. A week.
I
Okay.
think actually, because the battle pass ends on Sunday, I think, or Monday, something like that. So that means
Oh yeah,
that
it's like 4 days or something.
so yeah, it's really soon. And the biggest news from this, in my opinion at least, is the skin. I think we've talked about this. We're like, why doesn't Genshin Impact have skins? I feel like they'd
Yeah.
be making tons more if they
Yeah.
had skins. Well, they finally did it. Somebody in the office like a month ago said, "Why don't we have skins in this game?" And everybody in the room stood up in unison and said, "Very well. Get the artists on board. We're making skins." Like, come on. I can't believe it took them that long. So, rumor is, based on leaks, that it could be a $20 skin for Jean. Jean is a 5-star Animo
Yep.
swordswoman, and
Hmm.
this is a summer skin. So normally her outfit's more I kind of want to say like formal. She wears like a more formal outfit
I
because
mean,
she's
yeah,
the
she
leader of
wears
like a
long.
guild.
Yeah, she's the leader of the Knights of Favonius.
Right. So it's a bit more of a formal wear. This is the summer outfit. Barbara, a 4-star character who's I'm just gonna say I know she's not close enough. She's like a priestess at a church. She's gonna get a skin as well, but that's gonna be acquired through an event for free. This one could cost $20. It will be discounted though throughout the version. It says it will normally cost the equivalent of $20, but will be discounted significantly through the update. Boon. Outside of everything else in 1.6, do you think a $20 normal price for a skin is valid for a character in Genshin Impact?
For the way Genshin generally prices things, yes, but in general, absolutely not.
Mm.
This is absurd. I would never pay more than $5 for a skin.
Okay. Okay, so that's your
Like, I
opinion on it.
won't buy this. I won't buy this. Like, I have Jean and I like Jean. I use her. But will I buy this skin even if it's discounted to like 50% for $10? Highly unlikely because I
Okay.
think it's super overpriced.
Okay. I can see where you're coming from. Okay, so let's safely assume that the discount isn't going to be down to $5, right? Um let's say the discount brings it down to 10. It doesn't matter, but if the significant discount is like 50%, then that like a $10 skin I do think is a fair price for us in a game. Of all the games I've seen, I do think it's a fair price. Like
Yeah, 10,
League,
10 is pretty. Yeah, League, most
yeah,
of the skins are like $10, except the
they're
super cheapy ones.
something like $5, usually like between 5 to 15, with 10 obviously being, I would imagine, the average price. Fortnite, as an example, um, charges more than $10, and I would guess most skins are roughly 10. Some are less, obviously. Some are definitely more, but that's the case. I I can't speak for every other game, but I do think if a skin was normally priced at $10, it would be a fair price. $20 is a reach. If it's just $20 for this one, and then all the other skins that come out are like 10 to 15, that's kind of they would be kind of interesting. But like, okay, fine. Your first one was 20. It's your first skin that you're asking people to buy, not forcing. You're asking people to buy. Fine. You know what? Fine. But hopefully it won't exceed $20 unless it's like actually like god tier and it's just like more than just the skin. But I would say like $20 is a stretch. But if it was 10, I think that's a reasonable price. So
Yeah. It also depends like what the skin is. If it's literally just like this palette swap and you get this, summer dress swimsuit thing that she's got going on and there's no change in like her battle like quotes or battle effects or, her abilities or her like attack animations, then this should be a $5 skin because it's literally just a palette swap to
right.
this thing. If there's a little more to it than that, then maybe I can justify like 10 to 15. 20 is a stretch for me,
Yeah.
but again, I realize that like that's what these things cost. I think they're absurdly overpriced in general, but I do realize that like that's the market kind of the going rate. Um I
It
mean, I and we've talked about it before. I think it's absurd that the going rate for a 10 pull in Genshin Impact or any other gacha is like
Oh,
$20
it's
because like that's
insane.
what it is in Genshin. It's like $25 or
It's
something for a
it's
single
actually
10 pull,
crazy.
where 90% of the stuff you're gonna get is absolute garbage and completely useless.
Correct.
So you're
Yep.
paying $25 if you're buying 10 pulls, that is,
Right, that's correct. Yep.
for one thing, which is probably a 4-star character or a 4-star weapon that you may or may not want or need.
No, yep, you're right. You're 100% right. Like and that's just how it is sometimes. I I think if the skin is the palette swap, and I don't think her attack animations will be different. I doubt they'll do
Yeah,
that.
probably not that.
But the attack
But I hope.
itself, like her like ability to her like when she does the burst of air that can push enemies back, and her alt. I hope those are different. As in, like, I hope there's something different about it, whether it's the colors, something. Because
Yeah, like yeah, her ult like she summons this like wind tunnel thing around her that like heals everyone. Like let's at least put some like summer like some like water spray or something in there or something like that to
right,
go along with this like swimsuit summer thing going on.
exactly.
Like
At that point, I'd be like, okay, there's not just a palette swap. Some abilities, are getting some work there. Sure, I could definitely see that being better, more reasonable if it was like. I do think 20 is a stretch. So we'll see what the discount actually amounts to.
I can
But
see the discount being down to 10. Like
yeah,
I can see it going down to 10. Lower than that, I highly doubt it.
right. No, I agree. I could definitely see $10 being a total discount. So I still play it, not every day, but I do play it most days. I would say just for a little bit, just to do the dailies and stuff. I did do like the event that came out with the weird hilly churls.
I haven't played in so long. I'm so far behind on like
Oh, you're
the story quests and
you're 100. You're so
the
far.
the hangout events from like 2 patches ago or whatever that will like last. I don't
Yep.
even remember,
I
but
haven't done any of those, by the way.
okay.
The story actually did get like some legitimate,
Yeah,
interesting
I heard the last story
content.
quest with like Dane Sleep was pretty interesting actually.
Yes, it was. That's the
That's
one
what
I'm
I
referring
heard.
to. That was
Yeah.
actually pretty interesting. But other than that, I'd say you haven't missed too much. Gonna be honest.
I mean, there's a
So
reason I haven't played in a while. I'm like looking at every patch. I'm like, okay, filler patch, filler patch,
it,
filler
it really
patch. What
feels
is
like
this
that.
garbage?
It really feels like that. It
Like,
really does. I don't
because
disagree with you.
the first patch for Genshin, the Dragon Spine one, that was such a good patch. Like,
That was 1.2,
that
right?
was 1.2. Or yeah, that was 1.2. You're right. I don't
It
remember.
doesn't. It was still a great
1.1
patch.
was, yeah, 1.1 was pretty whatever. But 1.2 was great, and then 1.3 came around and it was the lantern, right? And that was a big disappointment. And
Oh God.
I pretty much quit after I got Ganyu, and then actually, and I had forgot about this until I logged in. I actually pulled Mona like right before I
Oh, that's
stopped
right.
playing.
You
So
you
I
won
have
the
Mona
game.
too,
You
and
already won.
I have to level her up, but
You already won.
I don't have like any like all the characters I have to level up right now, which is Ganyu, Keqing, and Mona, all require this stupid Whopper nectar from the flower guys. And I'm like, God, I just have to farm
Oh
a jillion of these goddamn things.
God.
Like,
Yeah, that sucks. There are certain items that are just the worst. The worst is the Chinxi flower. That flower is the worst. I Ganyu requires it, I think, and it's the worst. Or
yeah.
was it? No, maybe it wasn't her. It was like,
Now, I mean, the core lapis for Keqing is
oh, it's
pretty bad
terrible.
too.
Oh
That one
God, it's
sucks.
terrible. There's like one mountain that has a bunch of it, but that's about it. So there are some terrible ones, and I just like don't envy anybody that's trying to grind because it sucks. So okay. Um, there's one more thing. Is it okay if we round out news? Unless you have
Yep.
anything else to say. Okay.
No.
There's one more thing I wanted to talk about. I talked to you about it earlier today, Spoon. So hope you're not. You shouldn't be surprised. So I talked to Spoon about this. For those that are interested, next week, I believe, or was it maybe this? I think next week. I'll have to double check. So next week, I've set up a giveaway for the podcast community in particular. It will be I'll post about it with Spoon and I'll talk to Spoon about it more just to make sure everything's good. We're gonna do a little like $10 Steam gift card giveaway, just very small for the podcast group, which will be done through like Discord servers and through our YouTube and Twitch streams. And all you got it's through Gleam. So if you're not familiar with Gleam, it's like a service that works with giveaways in particular. You can like add entry tickets to get into the giveaway, and at the end of the giveaway, Spoon or I, one of us, will basically pull the winner. And yeah, the more entries you get, the higher probability, obviously. So you won't see all the actions to get entries into the giveaway just yet, but if you're interested and you want a $10 Steam gift card, we're doing this giveaway. We've never done a giveaway before. The giveaway will not be promoted on Twitter. And actually, if I'm being completely honest with all of you, I prefer you didn't promote it on Twitter. Reason why I don't want this promoted on Twitter specifically is Twitter is notorious for, I don't know other way to put it other than like folks that only look for giveaways. And that's it. And I don't think that's right for us. So
Yeah, we
We're,
want people to actually like look at our
we
content and not just like click the stupid
they're
follow button and not pay any freaking attention.
correct. That's what's going to happen. So,
Though to be honest, a couple of those wouldn't hurt. We'd like to get to 50 followers so we can get to affiliate. But
sure, absolutely. No, I 100% agree with you. I really do. I just wanted to point out to everybody like why there's not anything going to be related to Twitter, or why we're probably not going to post much about it on Twitter, is because Twitter, like, I've done giveaways before, and whenever I promoted on Twitter, it was like you get lots of stuff that you would want, like you get follows and all that, but it's not real. They don't like stay with you. Way to put it. So if you're interested in the gift card, there's various different ways to enter. Um, if you're interested, so we'll be talking about that more in the Discord server, and I'll be sort of mentioning it into other servers as well as in some of the YouTube videos. I will be doing a little shout out about the giveaway very briefly. So if you're interested and you want to help us out, this is a great way to do it. And we've never done a giveaway, so we'll see how this goes.
yep.
So hopefully everybody just decides to enter, and it's not just like some of these things, which is like, oh, visit a YouTube channel or something. There's like questions to answer, very simple stuff. So okay, that's
One
all I
more
want to
thing.
talk about for the giveaway. By the way,
One more thing I wanted to mention as far as news goes, just this was announced today, just very quickly. Nintendo announced that their E3 Nintendo Direct is going to be on Tuesday, June 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and they'll have about 40 minutes, 40-minute direct on Nintendo Switch stuff.
yep.
So, yep, that was announced. That was announced this morning, but there's nothing really to talk about other than that.
No, not really. I mean, everybody's speculating already. The
Yeah,
main
I mean,
speculation is feel like you know what it is.
Breath of the Wild
Of
2.
course it is. So they're gonna announce something for Breath of the Wild 2. That's just I feel like that's gonna be a thing. They're gonna have to. They pretty much have to actually.
The other rumor that has been circulating a lot lately is that the Switch Pro is a real thing and they're gonna announce it like pretty soon.
Yep. I I don't know what the specs are of a Switch Pro, but for the love of God, please make it, please make it more powerful. Please make
Well,
it
what
more
would be the
powerful.
point of it if it wasn't more
Please make
powerful?
it more powerful, because there are so many great games that I do like on the Switch that I wish had better texture quality. I really wish it had better texture quality. My question though is, like, with that improved, whether it's improved performance, graphic fidelity, whatnot, like how will the developers react to that, and what it will be like playing on a normal Switch as opposed to a Switch. I'd be very curious, because like if there's a Switch game that's coming out, and on a normal Switch it runs really poorly, but on a Switch Pro it actually runs normal. Like that would suck. I'm just gonna say it. That would really suck.
Yep.
I would be very unhappy with that.
Yeah, I don't want to see games that are designed like exclusively for Switch Pro, or that like they're designed for Switch Pro and like they'll run on the regular Switch, but it'll just be dog shit on the regular Switch, so you kind of have to buy the
Exactly.
Switch Pro.
That's all. That's all I want is I just don't want that to be the. So that's I'm really nervous about that. That's the main thing. So okay, let me close a couple things. So, and let me go ahead and actually move for now. Okay, so according to my document, we have several things that we could touch upon. We obviously don't have to touch on all of them because there's a couple things in here. We could, E3's coming up in a week and a
Week,
half.
yeah, week and a half, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Week and a half. E3's coming up. There's a lot of things to look forward to for that. We should definitely at some point talk about what we're doing during E3 time, which hopefully we'll get to next week. We'll talk about that. There's some upcoming games for this month that we've talked about several times. I would say Scarlet Nexus and Mario Super Golf are the big ones for us that we're
Yep.
looking forward to. If there's any others that And then also you wanted to talk about humankind and your replicant. So whatever you decide, we will start with. Which do you want to start with? What is a burning desire to talk about?
Hmm. Um, I think let's talk about like E3 and
Okay,
like stuff we're looking forward to. I think
sounds
that's
good.
good.
Then let me switch back. So let's go to let's just go through the exhibitors and sponsors here. Maybe that was the wrong thing. I'm trying to find like all the people that are going to be at E3. I'm trying to find it on their website and I can't find it at the moment. But maybe talk about the things you're looking forward to first, and I'll see if I can find a full list of, because I see like participating companies, media partners, and all that. Like they
Oh,
can all
it's
these
just
people are
funny.
participating.
They
But
have they have this like tier list going on, which I think is funny.
where?
Well, you see like the headlines is like participating companies, and then above that it's something else, and then
Yeah, no, this is the people who paid the most.
yeah, I know it's based on how much
This
they
is,
paid, but it's
did you pay more?
like elite, pinnacle, premier, feature, elite,
Elite,
participating, elite.
elite. Oh, hold on a second. 1 second. I actually lost you. Hold on. I think it's on
What?
me. For some reason, I lost your audio for a second. Go ahead.
I'm here.
Yeah,
You hear
yeah,
me now?
yeah.
Okay.
No, I got you. I just lost you for a second.
Um, Stuff I'm looking forward to at E3. I mean, we've talked about a little bit in the past, but with Nintendo, since we were on that, I'm sure we will see stuff on Breath of the Wild 2. I'm sure we will see more stuff on the Diamond Pearl remakes.
Hmm.
We'll probably see Pokemon Legends Arceus again.
We will.
Hopefully, it looks much better. Um, but the two things that I would really like to see from Nintendo, for me personally, and shocker, they're both JRPGs.
Of course they are.
Um, is I'd like to see something from Fire Emblem. I'd like to see an announcement of whatever the next Fire Emblem project is. Again, there's been rumors of the Path of Radiance Radiant Dawn remakes. There've been rumors of like a Genealogy of the Holy War remake, and then or maybe it's not a remake at all, and it's whatever the next like mainline title is.
Hmm. And
New
then
thing.
the other one is. Can I answer it for you? I think
Yeah,
I've got
you
the answer.
can
It's
because
Xenoblade.
what. Yeah, it's Xenoblade 3 or whatever the next Xenoblade, mainline monolith project is. But most people are assuming it's Xenoblade something, whether it be Xenoblade 3 or Xenoblade whatever the subtitle is. Um,
Okay.
yeah, those are the two things I really want to see again. All those things have been rumored. There was rumors a couple months ago of, them wrapping up some music production for whatever the next or whatever the next Monolith Soft project is. And again, most people are assuming that Xenoblade. So I I think there's a pretty high likelihood that we'll see whatever Monolith's next project is at E3. Fire Emblem, I'm not sure. Three Houses still only came out like 2 years ago with the DLC coming out like a year and a half ago. So
Right.
maybe they don't quite have something yet for Fire Emblem, but I hope they do.
Yeah. I would be interested to see if they have anything for Fire Emblem too. I Let's see. So it's a 40 minute. It's 40 minutes that they
40
get.
minutes, yeah.
Okay. Breath of the Wild 2. It depends obviously on if they're going to show gameplay. I don't know if they'll show gameplay, but they're going to show like a trailer. So
Yep.
I'm going to assume about 5 to 10 minutes is going to be dedicated to that. If they show gameplay, it's definitely going to be 10 minutes to 15 minutes. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? I mean, I hope to see Fire Emblem. Um, I do hope to see something Fire Emblem related. That'd be cool. We're definitely gonna see Pokemon stuff. I can't imagine we won't. They did say releasing 2021 though, right? They did say games. Did they say games releasing this year, or did they say?
It said mostly games
Okay,
releasing this year, so there'll
so
probably be a few that are like Pokemon Legends Arceus is releasing early next year, so
yep.
that'll probably be on the docket.
I would say
Um,
Splatoon 3 will get something. Probably
yeah,
like 5 to 10 minutes. We'll get
maybe.
Splatoon 3.
Oh, there'll be a Smash DLC character as well. That'll be in there
Okay,
for
Smash
sure.
DLC will be 5 minutes or so.
Whatever the next character for
Okay,
Smash is, that's gonna be in there almost
so
for sure.
it's gonna be Breath of the Wild. It's gonna be a Smash character. It'll definitely. I think Splatoon will be in there.
Yeah, Pokemon.
Pokemon will be in there, and then the stuff that they're going to sneak in as like big surprises. They're going to have a Fire Emblem teaser, I would imagine, of some kind, and they're going to do something else. I don't know if it's Xenoblade. I don't know, but
Yeah,
something is going to get teased besides it. There'll be like 6 things to look forward to here. They may also have like a segment of like indie games. They may
they'll probably do a reel at some point. They usually
like a
do
real,
this
yeah,
like rapid fire reel of like,
absolutely,
okay, here's a bunch of other like things that they're not exactly
yes,
highlighting, but they're there.
yes. So I could see all the so like 6 or 7 things will get looked at here. I don't foresee anything Mario related. That would be a shocker to me if they have anything Mario
Yeah,
related. As in like something like Mario Odyssey,
Odyssey 2. I would love
next
to see
next
Odyssey 2,
Odyssey,
but
something like
that
that.
that's a far gone like wish list for me.
Absolutely.
I'm not expecting it, but would I love it if they announced Mario Odyssey 2? Yeah, I would love that because I
Would
loved Odyssey.
would I be surprised if they did like a or excuse me, a 30-second teaser? Like, here, look, Odyssey 2.
Yeah,
We're thinking
yeah,
about it and we're working on it
yeah.
right now.
We're thinking about it.
Yeah. I think those are all the things we'll see from Nintendo. Um, let's see. Xenoblade, we could. I mean, you could for sure. I mean,
I don't think they'll spend a lot of time on it, but I think there will be a trailer
yeah,
for it at least.
there might be like a 30-second
A minute,
thing,
maybe a minute.
maybe. Who knows? Um, besides Nintendo though, who else is in here that's got your attention right now? I've got two that I'm currently looking at right now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously Square always has my attention because they are primarily a RPG developer.
Right, we're gonna see Final
Um,
Fantasy, guaranteed.
we're gonna
We
see
don't have to.
Final
Yeah,
Fantasy. Yeah, I think we'll see 16. Um, there's a possibility they have a little bit to show for 7 Remake Part 2, but I wouldn't expect it because it's
yeah.
because like the DLC is like just coming out really soon, and the game came out like a year ago,
I
so I wouldn't expect that. I think it's possible, but I'm not expecting it.
I think they're gonna focus more on the actual next Final Fantasy.
Yeah. There was that rumor about that Final Fantasy Origin game, that like Dark Souls style or whatever Final Fantasy like action game. So if that exists, we'll
If
see
that
that.
exists, we'll see it.
Uh,
Yep.
Um, I don't think we'll see anything Kingdom Hearts. They kind of said they were taking a year off from Kingdom Hearts, so I don't think we'll see Kingdom Hearts.
Yep.
Or it would be a surprise if we did. Um, Either from Nintendo or from Square, I would like to see Project Triangle again. Um,
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's been
Maybe.
like 4 or 5 months since we've seen it, so
Maybe they'll have something. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I think we'll see that. Um,
Boone, you're forgetting some really important titles in there. I can't believe it.
Go on.
Marvel's Avengers.
Lol.
Can I say this? If Marvel's Avengers, I know they had something. The Red Room recently come out. If Marvel's Avengers doesn't have anything for E3, that's going to be super telling. It's
Yep.
gonna. I think it's gonna mean Square doesn't care about it. If we don't see anything for Outriders, I will be surprised. Actually,
Oh yeah,
um,
we'll probably see
I
something on
think we'll
that.
see
You're right.
something for Outriders. We'll definitely like see something. If we don't see something for Outriders, that will also be very telling. So
I got the feeling that that game was lucrative enough that they'll probably will care about it, but I don't know.
I think they will. I think they'll care about it, trying to get something out for it within the next month or two.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I can't think
And
of anything else.
yeah, I mean, every company's gonna have a few like surprises up their sleeve, basically, probably that we just don't know about. So those are kind of hard to predict. So
Well, I can
those will
predict a
just be like,
couple. I can predict a few. Halo Infinite will get gameplay.
yeah. I mean,
We will see 15 minutes of Halo Infinite. We will see
yeah,
15 minutes.
there's gonna be a chunk in the Xbox conference for Halo for sure.
We're
I don't
also
know
going
if
to
it'll
get
be the
something else
first
from
thing
Halo.
or the last thing.
I'm predicting something else. I'm predicting they're gonna announce a beta for Halo. I'm
A
predicting
beta,
they're gonna announce because the game is supposed to come out in the fall, right? I
probably.
think so. I don't remember specifically. Halo Infinite release date.
I mean, we'll probably get a release date or at least a
Yeah,
projected one
it says autumn 2021. We'll get a release date. They're gonna get a release date, and then they're gonna announce they're gonna do a beta in like 2 months,
in like August or September or something.
August, possibly like early September. They're gonna announce we're gonna do an open beta, and we'll do it for like a week or weekend, and whatever. The other thing they're gonna announce. This is another surprise that they could announce for Xbox, particular with Halo. I'm scared, but I think they're gonna announce it. I think there's gonna be a Halo battle royale, and I think they're gonna announce it during. There will be a
That
Halo battle royale, and it'll get
now that you
announced.
now that you mention it, I would be really surprised if there wasn't.
There will be a Halo. They're gonna say we're gonna do a battle royale for Halo. It's going to be a separate experience from the Halo campaign.
Infinite, yeah,
We're
and
gonna
the
bundle it
and the
with the
regular
multiplayer.
multiplayer.
We're gonna bundle into the free multiplayer. They made the multiplayer free because they wanted to bundle that battle royale in the multiplayer. They're gonna have multiplayer normal modes, and there's gonna be a battle royale mode. That's gonna be bundled into the same. Um, they're gonna talk. They're gonna talk about it. They're gonna say something about it. People are gonna boo. That's my prediction. People are gonna boo. They're gonna be people not like in the crowd, obviously, but like people are gonna hate it. But it's gonna happen. That's for Xbox in particular. Um, I think that's like obviously I think Xbox's main thing is they got to sell people on Halo. That's all they have to do. All they have to do.
And you know,
And
they'll
Game
probably
Pass
have
obviously.
some. Yeah, they'll probably have some new big Game Pass announcements as well. Maybe they've bought another studio or two or something
I
that
who
they're
knows?
taking under their wing
Who
because
knows?
they usually do that.
Like we bought a studio.
Um,
Oh, okay. Sure.
yeah.
Um,
The other big game that I'm looking forward to seeing at E3 that I'm certain we will see another chunk from, which is not a company we've talked about yet, and it's Bandai Namco, is Tales of Arise. I want to
oh,
see a lot
100% you're
more
gonna get
of
something
Tales of
there.
Arise.
You're 100% gonna get that.
I know I'm gonna get,
No
I know
doubt.
I'm gonna
No
get it,
doubt.
but I'm excited for whatever the heck that they have to show for Tales of Arise.
I'm going to talk about predictions. You talk about your things that you know are going to get enough. I'm just going to do predictions because I think Ubisoft is going to have Far Cry 6 gameplay. They're going to show off gameplay. They're going to spend like 10 to 15 minutes on it. They're going to show the gameplay, maybe talk about this. I think they're going to announce that they're going to take another year off from Assassin's Creed. That's my prediction. They're going to take another year off. They're going to say, "Okay, we're taking another year off because we need more time. We need more time on the next Assassin's Creed game." That's what I think they're going to do. And that's what I hope they do. I hope they take a year off. I really do. They need more time to reevaluate that game because I personally I like pieces of that game and I like the direction that they've gone with it to a certain extent, but there's just no stealth in that game. They got to bring stealth back. Stealth just isn't a thing anymore. It's kind of silly. They need to figure out how they're going to get stealth back in their next game. That's what I'm seeing for Ubisoft.
Not
Take
Assassin's
Two.
Creed it's not Assassin's Creed anymore. It's Murder
It's
Hobos
just murder.
Creed.
It's just
What?
murder. It's just murder. Take Two. I think this is Take Two. They're gonna show like some NBA 2K slot machines or something, or GTA. That's all they need to show.
Oh, here's one back to like Xbox and Microsoft.
Oh,
I guess
go ahead.
this is Bethesda, but do you think we'll see Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield at Xbox's conference?
We
Well, with
will see.
Bethesda, obviously.
We'll see Starfield, but not Elder Scrolls.
Okay.
We're not going to see Elder Scrolls 6. I imagine we won't see anything for Elder Scrolls 6 until possibly next year. They had to. I think they talked about they're redoing their engine. They were redoing it.
Well, yeah, their engine's really old at
Yeah,
this
of
point.
course they are. So they're still working on the engine probably, or they're in their final stages of completing their new engine. They're not going to have anything for Elder Scrolls unless it's concept art. That's my anticipation. Um,
I was about to say Dragon Age 4, but EA is not going to be there,
EA is not
so.
here. EA will do
Oh,
their
I
own
wouldn't
thing.
be that surprised if EA did their own thing, like right before or right
They're
after or
gonna,
something like that.
yeah, they're gonna do something afterwards.
So
I imagine.
I think EA announced like yesterday, today. It was this week that they were going to do a stream for Battlefield 6, like the week before or like a
Oh,
few days before E3. I don't remember. So
all right, cool. If EA does something after E3, they'll show Dragon Age 4, probably more than just concept art this time. They'll also show more about the upcoming Mass. They'll probably have more to for sure. They'll probably talk about definitely going to be stuff on what's it called, the battle royale game, Apex Legends. Obviously,
Apex, yeah.
definitely talk about that. I don't know, maybe something Star Wars related and FIFA. Always FIFA.
Well, yeah, they're always gonna talk about FIFA and Madden. Like, let's be honest.
Capcom will have something Street Fighter related. There probably will be something Resident Evil related. There's supposed to be a Resident Evil multiplayer. Uh, Resident Evil multiplayer. There's supposed to be a Resident Evil multiplayer at some point.
There was rumors of a RE4 remake, so if those are true, we'll see that.
Okay, yeah, if that's true, we'll see something there. 100%. We're gonna see Tales. That's definitive. You're gonna see some Batman games. You're gonna see the Batman game and the Suicide Squad game probably get shown. Can't imagine you wouldn't because they teased it some time ago. NetEase. Jesus Christ. Isn't NetEase the ones making Diablo Immortal? Well, I
I
guess
don't know.
Blizzard's not here though, so maybe that's not gonna. Who else is in here that we could look?
Sega's so I mean, they
Well, they
just had
already
their Sonic. They
they
just
just had
had
the
their
Sonic
Sonic
thing.
thing. I'm not sure we'll see it. Well,
Bayonetta?
T3 though.
Bayonetta?
That would be under Nintendo.
Really?
Those are,
I thought Sega was Bayonetta.
but they're like Switch. Well, at least
Sega could do
Bayonetta
it.
2. Bayonetta 2 was a Switch exclusive. Maybe Bayonetta 3 won't be. I don't know.
I don't know. Um, I again like for Sega, I don't know like how much more they have beyond that. Gearbox. Oh, that'd be interesting. Probably more Borderlands 3. Yeah. There's
Bring back Battleborn. Battleborn 2 on the horizon.
God, man. Battleborn
Ooh.
tragedy. The Battleborn tragedy. That's a story. I think there's yeah. I'm very intrigued by. I do want. I'm very interested in Nintendo, Xbox, Ubisoft, and oh God, no.
Oh, Godfall.
Godfall. Ugh.
Oh boy.
Here's what I hope comes from that. Here's what I hope that comes from that. The CEO of Gearbox, the weird magician guy, he's gonna come on the stage, and he's gonna do a magic trick, and he's gonna say, "Here, I have a suitcase of money, and I'm gonna make it disappear." He's gonna pop it open, and it's just gonna be Godfall. He's like, "Look, all of our money disappeared, and we didn't bring it back because Godfall exists." That's
I mean,
it.
you made a PS5 exclusive game when no one could get a PS5.
A PS5 exclusive game that was absolutely not memorable at all from
Yep.
everybody that played it.
I forgot that game existed until Try brought it up.
That game, oof is all I have to say. Nintendo, Xbox, and Ubisoft have my attention though. I would like to see something more about the Batman games. I actually really like the Batman. I would like to see more. I gotta be honest. I'm not even though Tails is like on the radar. I don't have a lot of interest in a lot of the other Bandai Namco stuff. If I'm being
Yeah, I
honest
don't
with
know what
you.
else. I don't know what else they're gonna have. I mean, maybe they'll have some announcements, but it's like Tails and Scarlet Nexus is like the only two things we know about that are on
I
the
mean,
horizon. And Scarlet Nexus is coming out like the week after E3, so lol, like
something
what an
DBZ
intro.
related.
Yeah, that's a deep cut. Maybe like Dragon Ball Fighters 2 or something like that, or maybe they'll have just like a new Dragon Ball game. Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll have
there.
some licensed anime. They'll have some.
Oh,
You're right. They'll have
oh
some
God,
licensed anime game.
what's the anime
Jump
fighting
Force.
game one?
Jump
What's it? Jump
Force.
Force. Oh yeah, Jump Force. That's it.
That
They'll
game
talk
look.
about Jump Force. They'll spend 10
They
minutes on Jump Force, and 5 people will be sitting there interested.
they are still promoting that game. That game like
Hard.
they're still like releasing like DLC characters and like I don't I feel like that game was a massive failure, but I don't know. Like,
Maybe they're making enough off the 20 people that play that they can just keep doing it. I have no idea, but it's apparently making enough where they keep throwing content out there, and I'm just like, okay. I mean, shit. If you've got the money for it, go for it, man. Like, wow. I'm yeah, sure. Why not?
yeah.
I
So yeah,
yeah.
Bamco will have Tales of Arise, Scarlet Nexus, and some licensed anime games, whatever they are.
Oh yeah, Scarlet
Um,
Nexus. Oh my god, that's right. It's
yeah,
coming out after E3. So
yeah, like a week after
yeah,
E3.
so they'll have something there. They'll do like a little bit of a,
They'll,
I would imagine,
they'll
a
probably
deep
do a
dive into
demo.
that.
They'll do a demo, yeah.
Yeah, they'll do a deep dive. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much on some of this other stuff, to be honest, that I would know
Yep.
about or be interested in. So
No, I think we're good on
okay,
this.
cool. So just letting you know, I am coming close to my class time. So perhaps
Um,
perhaps we could maybe we'll save some of the stuff that you have here. Can
yeah,
we do that?
I don't want to get into near for sure. We don't have time for that.
For
We can
sure.
maybe touch on humankind for a few minutes because
Go for it.
I don't have a lot to
Go
say
ahead. I will
about
switch
it
my screen though. Go
because
ahead.
this was not like a demo that I got to play or anything like this.
Sure thing.
But yeah, this week there was I guess a couple weeks ago or something, a bunch of content creators, YouTubers, and such got access to a demo, a new build of humankind for a short amount of time, and some videos have come out. They got access to the fifth era, the industrial era. Um, and yeah, they've made some other improvements to build, some balance changes with like science and food again, and like how much the citizen workers give, and yeah, they've made some slight improvements to the UI. Probably not all that you wanted to see. Auto,
Honestly,
but
I gotta be honest. I don't think they're gonna make me. I gotta be honest.
but they did make a slight change where on the city production menu for like for your both your emblematic unit and your emblematic district, there's like an icon on it right now that shows that like that is your emblematic, you know, thing. That's your special unit or your special
Okay.
district for your culture.
Okay. Sure.
Um,
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
and they added icons to every building that shows like what type of building it is, whether it's like food, industry, science, or money
Oh.
related.
Okay.
So
I like that too.
just some like quick like QOL things on the UI, like nothing huge.
I think that's good.
But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I liked those changes were like small and nice. They seemed to like they took a look at religion a little bit and balanced the super busted like science tenant that was in there that we talked about last time
Yeah.
on tier 3.
That game
Um,
still needs to be balanced for sure.
so
So
yeah, it looks like they took a pass at religion and changed some of the super broken stuff that was in religion.
okay.
Um, and yeah, so like with the industrial era, one of the big things about the industrial era in the game, it gives you, if you research a certain technology, you get access to train like railroads and trains. So you can build a train station you can build one in every region that you own,
Okay.
and any unit can go from any train station to another like connected train station in one movement point, basically.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
allows you to transport units across your empire really quickly.
Yeah. You build the railroads. Got it.
Yeah. So like that's a cool thing. And as usual, the units get stronger, the armies get bigger, the battles get like more epic and longer. And I guess like some of the resources in the later eras may be hard to come by, and you really have to decide whether you're going to war for it, or you're gonna try and like do diplomacy and trade for them, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's interesting stuff with the industrial era, and then they have officially revealed 8 of the 10 cultures for the last era, the sixth era, the contemporary era. But I did watch a video where like the guy was playing this new build and they couldn't play the contemporary era, but it got to the end and they allowed you to like pick your next culture. So we know what all 10 of them are
Oh.
basically based on that video.
Oh,
So
okay.
let me see if I can remember the 10 off the top of my head. We have the Americans, Australians, Brazilians, Chinese,
Soviets.
uh, Soviets, the Swedes, the Japanese, Indians, Egyptians, and Turks. That's 10.
Okay. Indians, Egyptians. Okay. Got it.
So yeah, those are the 10 for the contemporary era. Seems to be a pretty nice, diverse set from all over the world. You've got America for North America, you've got Brazil for South America, you've got the Egyptians for Africa, you've got Australia for the Australian continent, you've got the Swedes for Europe, and then there's a bunch of Asian ones, honestly. The Chinese, the Japanese, and the Indians are all Asian countries, and then
Hmm.
I guess the Turkey's like, I'm not sure if it's technically in Asia or Europe, or maybe it's kind of both. I'm not sure.
I mean, Middle
Um,
East
yeah, it's
area,
in the middle.
right?
It's in the Middle
So,
East.
okay,
Yeah.
just yeah.
So yeah, it seems like a pretty nice, diverse set of cultures. Um, and yeah, I mean, humankind, as usual, seems to be shaping up really nicely. Like the balance isn't there, obviously, and apparently the devs are saying that, like, at least as far as the cultures go, obviously they're going to do their best with the balance, but it's literally impossible to balance. They're just going to try to make each one unique and fun and at least have like a niche, and there would be a reason for you to pick it depending on like what you're doing in your playstyle. But
Sure.
the way the game is designed with the 10 cultures per era, 6 eras, over a million combinations of cultures, that's literally impossible to balance. Completely impossible. So,
You do what you can.
yeah, they're going to do their best.
You really just do what you can.
So,
So.
yeah, game's shaping up good. Looks like they've made a decent amount of progress since the Victor build, which was only like a little more than a month ago.
Hmm.
So I was thinking maybe that they would have to delay again, like that. The Victor build, like, while it was good, again, it was still looking kind of rough to me, and I was like, man, are they good? I don't even know if they're gonna be ready in 4 months at this point. Like, this is kind of a lot, but you know, from what I'm seeing, maybe it will be ready in August, and it'll be great. Um, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, I think some of those changes are good. I don't expect the UI to really change much at all, to be honest.
No,
I
not too
really
much.
don't. Which it is what it is. I do think that like the magnifying glass thing and those like other things should change, but yeah, I don't expect them to do all that based on my input alone. I'm sure many people like what they saw, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
So okay, let's round out. We'll have you talk about Near next week when you've gotten potentially more playtime into it. You said 10 hours.
Yeah, I played a
Okay.
couple more hours yesterday. I'm like 12 or 13
Okay.
in now, and I got to the end of like part one of the story, like the first half of the game for the first
For the first
ending.
playthrough. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
so which was like a pretty climactic moment, and like some story, like definitely some stuff as far as the story went, definitely happened at the end of part one. So
Sure. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So next week we'll talk about that more, and you can sort of mention your thoughts on it as a whole for when we finish the game news and stuff. Okay. Let's round out everything here so I can get to class
hmm
before it starts because I have to move my computer over there and all that. So be sure to check out our YouTube, please. We really appreciate that. There will be a video going up every single day, at least until Saturday, at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, 5:30 Eastern. If you don't know where the YouTube is, there's a link in the chat for Twitch, exclamation point YouTube. Again, we obviously encourage people to take a look. We love the support. I mean, obviously, I'm checking it every day, so if you leave comments, I'll see them, and I try my best to like them or respond to them when I can. Most of the videos going up currently are the Mass Effect playthrough videos that I've been doing. However, the D&D from last week will go up in the next day or two, and additionally, this podcast will go up in the next day or two when I'm able to sit down and get it up there for either today or tomorrow. As far as the other things, movie night, we're going to coordinate for Friday night or Saturday night. Anime, will be sometime Sunday, but we're not 100% sure of the time. Possibly late afternoon, based on Spoon and I having D&D for our college group at that time on that day. We also will be conducting our very first giveaway. It'll be next week. If you're interested in participating, you're obviously more than welcome to. It's free to participate for a $10 Steam gift card. There's a couple ways you can get entries. You'll be able to see once the giveaway is up, but there's things like checking out the YouTube. There's also either really short answer or possibly like checkbox answers. But none of that stuff will be fully finalized until Spoon and I have, we'll talk about it more. But if you're interested, check it out. We'll post it in the Discords and we'll talk about it in the YouTube videos and in the streams. But we more than likely won't talk about it on Twitter. So, Spoon, any other additional thoughts before we close for the day?
Nope. I am good.
Okay. Then that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks, everybody. And hopefully we'll see you next week. We'll talk more about our E3 schedule and plans as Spoon smirks from some message he probably received on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you, everybody.
Night, everybody.